Way back in 1973, I moved to Crested Butte, Colorado for 1 year to ski, and by the fourth year, I opened my own restaurant, which was pretty pivotal in my career because it was the first drought year that Colorado ski industry had ever experienced. I had to lay off almost my whole staff. During the late 70s, there was an insane run-up in resort real estate. And basically for the last 40 years, I've worn two hats. One as a restaurateur and another one as a real estate investor and developer. In the late 80s, the opportunity came up to buy Josefina's restaurant in Larimer Square, which was already a landmark. Driven by the success of that operation, I grew a small restaurant company. Then in 1993, the Han Company, who is the owner of Larimer Square, wanted to sell it. I think the story of Larimer Square and the story of myself is really about reinvention, failure, and adaptability. I had 4 restaurants, so I was the largest tenant. If you jump forward to where it is now, I had to close every one of those restaurants and recreate the block. But the reinvention has given birth to some of the greatest restaurants in the city. So during that era, I had the good fortune to do my first deal with Jennifer Jasinski and Beth Grudge, and then subsequently with Troy Gard. And then I had done a number of restaurants with Joe Vostries and Frank Bonanno. Although I'm not a partner of Frank's, Frank is a very important operator on the block. And the combination created a powerhouse, probably the largest concentration of chef-driven restaurants in one block in the country. So as we embarked on Union Station, we had a number of public meetings substantiating locally operated restaurants, no chains, no Starbucks, operators that were quintessential Denver or Colorado. And that's what we did and helped create what is now known as Denver's Living Room. I'm blessed that I've participated in those 2 projects, and those 2 projects have been pivotal in the evolution of Denver. Eventually, I recognized the importance of restaurants in terms of being a place, being a second home, being a community where people can interact, where art becomes an essential component. Now it's evolved for me in my career, where I see the importance of chefs and other restaurateurs as sort of provocateurs of creating impact and creating social change. The Colorado Restaurant Association has been a supporter of our nonprofit that we started, the Good Food 100, that looks at these social issues. My success would be driven by partnering with other people that are better qualified and more talented than me, and that I could play a role as a facilitator. So let's think back how my 45-year career has changed. I opened my first restaurant to meet chicks, and now, 45 years later, I want to change the world and change the food system.